According to this, they have light and moisture. Dry tropics.
There we go. Got stuck there for a minute. I don't think there's anything for us to look there just yet.
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. Water. Very strange. Half of the Colonial collection is absent. The smell is strong. It is a detergent. These windows were perfectly cleaned. This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow. A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned. This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
Supposed to be looking for something here. I just don't know what. Thought I already looked at that. So I missed something here, obviously.
Soil. The soil.
Okay, but like, what am I looking for here?
Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here.
There we go.
This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced. All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all.
Broke the door open, knocked over the pot, fell on the fence. No.
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial collection room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder?
It is very strange. Bet you he didn't have a heart attack. I was thinking poison. Well, we might as well keep having a look around here.
According to...
Come on, turn around.
These plants come from all the territories of the British Empire.
Who knows, I could find something that helps the case. I doubt it.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
I, sir, am just looking around.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only. For I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
Interesting.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon. Palm House.
I'll talk to Martin here if he wants before we go to the autopsy. Dunn's death.
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Let's go to Scotland Yard. We need that autopsy.
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy, then.
Let's go find out.
First of all, let us carry out an external examination. There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse. The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal. The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma.
So again, I'm thinking he was poisoned.
There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy. Nothing suspicious here. No redness, stings, or bruises. Now, let us examine the internal organs. The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs. The lungs are congested and edematous.
Ooh.
The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant. The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs. The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs. There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death. My suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
You mean
Yes, it is murder.
Murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No, a few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building. I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
Well, you know, a good case is a case nonetheless. Dunn was poisoned. Alright, so let's stop at home first to search the archives, and then we will head back to the Kew Gardens. Botany, I'm looking for... It's right here. These plants have a certain toxicity in common, more or less variable. Only the first three can be dangerous to humans, particularly Florium diabolici, but only under very specific conditions. Plants should react to a process of aggression against them, which it will issue deadly spores.
Here it is.
And murder. Alright, so let's head back to the Kew Gardens then. We'll try to figure it all out. Alright. See if he'll have anything to say to us right now. Emptied Colonial room.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the Colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
Odd. What was your relationship with Dunn?
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression. Great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
Tell me about his lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say. He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
What about Albert Dunn?
what is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
Tell me about Margaret.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And why, he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
And the lethal plants?
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Intriguing.
Locked. Locked.
I mean, I could pick it, but I'm sure they're not going to be too happy if I did.
Locked. Locked.
And everything's locked around here, huh? Except for this. Which I'm sure, yeah, it just brings me back in the building, which we are going to go back in. I just want to finish a preliminary search outside here. We'll stop and talk with Albert for a little bit, and we'll check out the other side of the greenhouses. I'm just trying to look around.
A task list for Albert, compiled by Martin Hamish. Sweep out the palm house, scrub the toilets, clean the storage shed tools.
Tell me about Miss White.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
Can you tell me about the Colonial collection? Why it's emptied?
We noticed that a part of the Colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah. At the moment, I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
What was the relationship with your father like?
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Tell me about Martin Hamish.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the Deputy Director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? Well, that is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Do you have door keys?
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Well,
Thank
fair
you, young
enough.
man. We shall see you again soon.
I don't know why it told me I had something then. I clearly don't have anything yet. There's definitely a lot of animosity here between everyone. I feel like Hamish wants to own this place. So does, I was gonna say Martin, but that's not his name. So does, Albert. That's his name. I don't think there's anything more I'm gonna learn from in here. Excuse me. So let's check out the other side of the greenhouses. See if I can learn anything.
These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for exhibition purposes. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
Intriguing.
Dry tropics. There is a smell of burning.
The hell?
The symbol is not from Kew Gardens. A broom handle was half burned. A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the Colonial collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material. The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned. A protective mask. Someone set it alight, but it did not burn. The remains of a picture frame.
I feel like someone was trying to burn some evidence there.
Look, Holmes, this charming lady must be Miss White. She's entering the seed house.
Excuse me. A map of Kew Gardens here.
Director's office, cloakroom, and laboratory. Harm house. Water lily greenhouse. Colonial collection. Dry tropics. Ventilation system. Seed house. Nursery. A map of Kew Gardens.
You know what? Someone could have easily,
Reserve.
put some stuff in the ventilation system.
A water tank. A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
Object of interest.
Seed house.
I want to avoid the seed house just for now. I do want to talk to Margaret, obviously, but when the time is right, I do. Is there a reason to be looking at this or no? I think this is just to help us maneuver. Let's say object of interest, but I don't know what it would be. We'll leave it for now.
Nursery. Locked.
Not anymore. Alright, let's start investigating the nursery a little bit.
The seeds of plant species are stored here.
Step aside, Watson. You're always in the way. There's a bust here. And it's missing a piece
I
of the
am
head.
curious if the marble that we found will fit this place. Here it is. The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial collection room is what they have in common. It is a bust of Montague Dunn.
Someone resented it, that's for sure.
This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was directing, but it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens. This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition.
Well, I'm going to end the video here because we're up for time. When we come back, we'll finish our investigation on the nursery. We'll head to the office buildings. I can get into everything but the coat room right now. And then we'll head back to the Seed House and talk to Margaret. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and say, comment down below, subscribe, share. It helps me out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.